Hello and welcome to this video that shows you how to set up an assignment with a rubric in Moodle. This is updated fall 2021. So first thing I'm going to do is turn on editing, and then I'm going to add an activity or resource to whatever week I want to do it to. So let's go ahead and add an activity or resource here. And again, I've started as an assignment, but again, if you go to all, there it is, assignment. So we'll go ahead and click on that. And we'll give this a name. Let's call this Journal 1. Why not? And then we would actually say what the assignment is. In at least 300 words, please tell of your experience with writing. Do you enjoy writing? Why or why not? Okay, let's say that's our journal entry. Okay, and again, I'm going to want to click on this button here because that actually will, if I don't, then this information will not display on the middle page and they were not going to know what it is. Okay. You can add a file like if you want to have the directions, but I don't really mess with that for the sake of this. Now, for under availability, we have the same issues like we do for quizzes, or the same options rather, with one exception. So you can say if you just enable this rather, it'll take submissions from whatever, or you can set the date of when you're going to allow them to do submissions. So let's say you don't want them to do it until after you've taught the class for that day. Okay, so let's say I'm going to teach that on whatever. Okay, and then the due date is, okay, let's say you're going to give them a week to do it, or however long. It's really up to you. I have my own personal opinions on that, which I will not share in this video because that's really, I don't want to mess with your academic freedom. Okay, now another thing they have here is the cutoff date. So if you have a hard, fast cutoff date where no students are allowed to take assignments or complete assignments after a certain day, then you will want to enable that, and it should be the same time as the due date. So I personally, well, again, I'm going to keep my mouth shut. But you're going to be able to gather what I do because I do have a cutoff date. If they don't have a reason to get it done, they're not going to get it done, and then I don't need to be reminded. So I'm just going to, do that. Okay. So this shows when they can start taking it, and it shows the due date, and it shows that after that due date is done, they're not allowed to take the test. Okay, now there's a few different other ways. So like for just a assignment like this, where they're not going to necessarily have to type it out on a document, they can just type it in Moodle. You can click that as an online text, if you want to. And there's a lot of different things we can do here. But if they want to do it as a file submission, I'm going to show you a little trick that I use to help avoid some problems. So you can choose what type of files you accept. And since this is just a document, what I go is I go down to document files, okay, right here, and I hit expand, and I say, okay, I'm going to let you submit it as a doc or a docx or as a PDF. Okay, I don't accept Google Docs. You'll notice that Pages is not a option, because if someone's using a Mac, sometimes they'll save it as a page file, and then if they try to submit it to Moodle, Moodle can't read it, I can't read it, and so then it's a mess. So I say that if they're going to upload a file, if it's not one of these three types of files, again, these are the Microsoft Word documents and PDF. Now, if students are using Google Docs, they can save their file in a Google Doc as a PDF or as a docx. So it's not like we're saying you can't use Google Doc. It's just the problem with the Google Doc thing is sometimes the formatting gets weird, or students want to share their file with you. No, we need them to upload it to Moodle. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and we save changes. Okay, so if they try to upload a file that's not one of these, it won't let them do it. So that's just a little helpful thing. Feedback types. If you want to send them a file, let's say you download their file and make comments from their file and send it back to them, you make sure you click on feedback files. If whatever. There's some different options. You can look at that. Again, comment in line, yes or no. It's just up to you as you play around with that. I'm not really focusing on that. The things I do want to show you are really more of the grade and also of the rubric, okay? Because this is where it's going to save you time. So if you click on grade, we're going to do a rubric, okay? And I'm going to show you how to do that. And again, I have set up my categories, the gradebook first. If you haven't set up your gradebook first, you really should, because I have to figure out where this is going to go. Well, this is going to go under quizzes and assignments, okay? So it automatically go to that right place in the gradebook. If you don't have your gradebook set up correctly, then you can't choose that option, okay? So you're like, okay, well, I've selected rubric, but I haven't created the rubric yet. I'm like, yes, I know that. So we're going to go ahead and so there's the assignment, okay? But now we have to establish the rubric. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on edit settings. I lied. That's a lie. You know what? That's a big fat lie. I'm going to click on the journal. Yeah, and then I'm going to click on the gearbox. I should know better. Come on. Come on. All right, and then I'm going to go down here to define rubric, okay? Define rubric. And I'm just going to call this journal 1. Now, again, once you've created a rubric for one class, you could use it for any class moving forward, for any other class you're teaching, any classes in the future. So it does take a little time up front, but it's going to be worth it. Okay, so now we're going to establish what we're going to be doing as far as how we're going to grade this. Well, let's go ahead and, so this is our little area we're going to work on. So let's go ahead and add a level here, because we can always add, or we can always get rid of levels. We can get rid of a, you sure want to delete this level? Yeah, we're going to add a level. Okay. And again, you can choose whether you're going to start with the ascending or the descending. So generally I start with the ascending. Okay, so the first criteria is word count. Okay. And there's a few different ways you can approach this, but let me just kind of show you the general overall thing. So I'm going to clearly define, so this is, 300 words or more. Okay. And then for this one, let's say it's 200 to 299 words. Okay. And for this one here, let's go 100 to 199 words. Okay. And then 1 to 99 words. And then I'm going to add another level. Not submitted. Okay. You were like, well, what about the points here? Yeah, we're going to get to the points in just a second, because I want to add another criteria. Okay. And this one I'm going to include is grammar. Because, and I'm going to get in my soapbox here for a second. Sometimes I'll have, again, I'm an English professor. Sometimes I'll have folks, who are not in English, and they'll say, what are you doing over in English? My students can't write. And whenever they turn in their assignments, it's full of grammar issues. And I say, well, do you have grammar as part of your rubric? Well, no. And then, well, why do the students have any reason to use proper grammar if you're not going to have any kind of level of accountability? And they're like, yeah, okay. So for grammar, I mean, you can be vague here. So it's like no significant grammar errors. Okay, I'm just going to kind of copy this. And then over here, I'm going to put, few significant grammar errors. Numerous. Numerous. There you go. Significant grammar errors. A boat load of, no, don't say a boatload. Let's just say many significant grammar errors. And again, we'll just do not submitted. Okay. All right. So let's say this overall assignment is going to be worth 100 points. Well, now I need to figure out how many points are going to be. Let's say the vast majority of it, I want it to be word count. Okay. So let's say I'm going to decide, 70% of the overall. If they were to do it properly, 70% of the words from the grade would come from the word count, and then 30% would be this. So those two should equal 100. You got me? All right, so let's go down. Let's say this one is, I don't know, 55. Let's call this one 40. Call this one 20. Not submitted would be 0. Okay. And then under here, so let's just go 20, 10, 5, oops, 5, and then 0. You're killing me, Smalls. Okay. All right. So now I have created my rubric and everything equals, so if they get everything properly done, then it would be 100 points. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and save the rubric and make it ready. Okay. And then I can always go back in and edit it, and it shows me that it's ready to go. Now, what makes this also really pretty cool is I'm going to go back to this week. And if I go over and switch to, okay, I think I got to switch over to student view. Ugh. We've just updated this, and I'm not sure how to do that. Groups enrollment. Well, heck. Yes, I did, my version of swearing. Heck. Okay, anyway, sometimes there's a way to, I'll figure out how to do the student view. But the point is, when the students go on and click on it, actually, maybe I'll show it here. No, it won't show it here. But when the students click on the assignment, it'll actually show them the rubric when they go to submit their assignment. And that's really cool, because then they know exactly what is expected of them, and they can, be able to think, oh, look, switch role to. Perfect. Now I can show you. All right, so let's go ahead. See, so now I'm in the student view, right? Okay, and it shows exactly. Granted, it kind of inverted them, whatever, but it shows exactly how it's graded. Okay, so let's go back to Journal 1, and if they were to take it, so go to Journal 1. Oh, I made it not available because I can't submit anything right now because I made it so they can't take it till the 15th. But if they could take it, they would see you would see a submit button where they could kind of go ahead and do the things. All right, so that is how you create an assignment with a rubric. And then when it comes time for them to turn in the work, you can just read their work, and it's very easy for you just to click on whatever, and it automatically grades it, and it puts that grade into your grade book, and it will save you a lot of time. So yeah, there you go.